This episode of the Long Run Podcast is sponsored by Skechers. Oh, look, we're here. We're live. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Long Run live stream and podcast. Now, you have to bear with me because I'm in charge tonight, which, to be honest with you, could go two ways. It could be absolutely amazing or it could be terrible. Wilco is currently in the Algarve, probably blind drunk, I'm guessing, somewhere. And Al is also probably blind drunk somewhere in Spain. So you've got to put up with me, Toe, but we brought in the big guns tonight. We've got admin on, aka Sabrina, and we've got Abby in from our Surrey satellite group to sort of, I think, Toe, steady the ship, would you say?
Well, I think so they can run it and we can just
basically,
that we
they're
know
going to run it. We're just going to sit here and just say very little and try not to do anything. So firstly, can you let me know in the comments, was my intro better than Wilco's? That's really important to know. And the other thing I need to know from you, if you can, is any questions, anything you want to talk about, and it doesn't have to be running related. We don't really care anymore. Stick it in the comments, whether you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube. Start it with a Q, and admin is going to be in charge of getting hold of those questions today. We've got to give a big shout out at the front end. If you're watching on the live stream, point to my Skechers t-shirt. For sponsoring today's podcast and live stream. So big shout out to them. Go out and check out their running shoes and running kit. Get over to skechers.co.uk here in the UK or wherever you are in the world. Maybe in Mongolia. What's the thing in Mongolia, Toby? Is it .mon, I guess? What do you reckon, guys? If you're in, like .co.uk.
Yeah, .com.
Mon. Let us know. Send an email in. Oh no, what are we going to do, Toby? Wilco's the only one who knows.
longrunShow@gmail.com.
There we go. Admin's got it. So long run show.
Long run show. No,
we still can't get it right. Anyway, he's put it on the screen. longrunShow@gmail.com. Send in what you think it is in Mongolia, if it's .mon or not, and anything else you want to email in. And thank you to everybody who's been emailing in since the email special where we got rid of quite a few emails. We've now massively behind, Toby. So just a bit of a warning. We may need to do another email special because we're going to try and talk about some of the emails we've got. I've got some already printed off. Bit of a heads up, I've not read any of them, but I have got some here.
I think it's a heads up. I think that's just like a common knowledge.
Usual.
We're also going to talk about, we're going to talk to the ladies as well. Well, they're going to talk basically, and we're just going to sit here and listen. But we're also going to talk about running a faster 10K tonight. So we want to talk about that, and that'll probably come in the second half of the show because at the front end, we're going to catch up with what Abby and Sabrina have been up to, talk about doubling and things like that. But the reason we're talking about faster 10K is because here in the UK on Monday, we've got the Vitality 10K, which is, I think, probably is it arguably? No, we had the Winter 10K. I was going to say the first big 10K of the year, but we had Winter 10K, didn't we? So, but is Vitality bigger? Should we compare? What do you think?
I think it is
warmer.
It's going to be warmer, yeah, because it's May, Toe. You would hope it's warmer than it is.
We are in England.
Yeah, that is true. Abby, did you do Winter 10K?
No, I volunteered at that one.
Oh, you was on volley. Oh, we must.
It was cold.
Out. Good. Thank you for doing that. That's a good reminder because I would have got shot about that as well. Big shout out to all our volunteers at the Vitality 10K this weekend. They're going to be on a t-shirt. Yeah. Are you volunteering?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we go.
I'll be back.
So if you're running the Vitality 10K this weekend, when you get your t-shirt, say thank you very much, you FORDY runner, and give them a hug. That's what I'm going to be doing. It's the only reason I'm doing it is to see them all at the end. Oh, and annoy Toby for 42 minutes. That's the plan. What do you think, Toby?
42 minutes.
Yeah. Well, you got to run 39, but I'll try and stick with you. Oh, you're not. Oh, that's the point. Let's update the viewers and listeners on that lazy calf.
If you
didn't listen last week, Toby has finally succumbed to the fact that he's an idiot because he's been overtraining. Went to the physio, got absolutely killed over and got 60 quid taken off him for a few exercises and don't run on it. So how is your lazy
I do
car?
run on it a little bit.
Did you go back
run on it a
today?
little bit? I did go back today. Yeah.
Oh, what they charge you another 60 quid?
No, only like 50 quid this time.
So what they say, Tom? Come on, tell the viewers.
They're still lazy. They were impressed though because I was doing like.
You're lazy. They said you're still lazy.
That
What
was
they
it. They said you didn't do your strengthening enough, which might be half true. I tried. They were impressed I did it on the train though. I was standing on the train the other day, like on one leg, like trying to do my strength.
You told them that?
Well, yeah.
No, you told.
But it's good though because the train moves, so you're strengthening it more.
Right, let us know in the comments. Do you ever tell the physio the truth? You never tell the physio the truth. Say you've done all the exercises. Of course you do.
Yeah, well, I've learned that from the past that I never do anything I'm told.
That's true. So what they said?
They said carry on strengthening it.
It's absolutely useless. Are you allowed to run on it like properly or what?
Well, I said what's your weekend plans? Well, quite a lot of running. Yeah, take it easy.
Oh dear. Okay. All right. But are you still on for Edinburgh Marathon?
Yeah. I am allowed to run. I've missed 2 weeks now of long runs though. So
have you? Has it been
last week and this week would be.
Oh dear. Okay. Well, don't panic. We'll come on to it. Right. Anyway. So firstly, let's get into who our amazing, I would say co-hosts. I don't like to use the word guests because our co-hosts tonight. We've got Abby from our Surrey satellite group. So we've had Hayden on the show. If you're not listening to that episode, make sure you go back and listen to that one. So welcome, Abby. Abby, have you ever been on a podcast before?
No, I haven't. This is.
Have you ever been on a live stream before?
Nope.
Well done. Breaking new territory here. And we've had admin on before. So you should be quite comfortable here, really. What I'm hoping, actually, Tobe, I've had a brilliant idea while I'm sitting here. If these two are any good, right, what we could do is probably take next weekend off and let them run it.
I think we do it anyway.
This is a cross between Loose Women and Match of the Day.
It's a bit. Yeah. Mel says, "Go, ladies, you're awesome." Let's dive into some of the. Who we've got questions coming in. Thanks to everybody. Keep the questions coming in. We will get to these at some point. Make sure you click that thing, authorize your account, so Toby, so we know who's asking all the questions and stuff like that. So, Abby, you was in Dublin. We'll come on to that, but you was in Dublin last week, wasn't you, with the Big 40 Runs takeover, which looked like a lot of fun. How many did you have? I say we'll come on to it, but how many was there in the end?
Probably about, I think, 40, maybe just over 40 in the end.
That's incredible.
Yeah, we took it over.
Yeah, you did. You made a lot of noise, which is good. What the reason I wanted before we wanted to get into that is because you're down in Surrey doing the satellite group down there. Obviously, Mel's there. We've got Hayden in there. When do you guys meet? Just fill the listeners in if you're in that sort of area.
Yeah, so it's a Thursday evening and it alternates between Bushy Park and Nonsuch Park.
Okay, and
I try and make it to Bushy.
You try and make the Bushy. And it's basically what I love about you guys. What you do is it's always, and it's the ethos of the club, but it's fun and there's always an element of the social side of things as well, which is really, really good. I think it's amazing what you guys have all done down there. It's and it's growing as well. It's like every picture I see, it looks like someone new there. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, it's great. Good. And then we've got admin. Admin, you run our Broxbourne ladies group, and basically in charge of pretty much most of the Hertfordshire groups. To be fair in it, so let's be honest. So you've done a cracking job of doing that. If anyone's listening in our area, tell them when all the clubs are. Do a bit of a promo. Go and get it out there.
Right. So we've got Ladies' Night Monday night, 7 p.m. in Broxbourne. Tuesday is Hertford at 7 o'clock, and Wednesday's back in Broxbourne. So
okay, good plug there. Well done. Right. So Abby, I should have asked this because this is what Wilco does, right? He like when we have a co-host on, nice to use the word guest there, he sort of rings them up, chats through what's going to happen and asks them some questions and things like that. Instead of me just pinging you and say, did you get the email with the link on it? So where are you at? Are you training for anything? Where are you at in your sort of running journey in 2022 at the moment?
So we'll be starting training very soon for London Marathon.
Okay.
I'll be doing my first marathon. At the moment, I'm just trying to tick over with keeping a half marathon distance. So once I start my plan, I'm kind of, in theory, halfway there.
Okay. And is that a sort of rolled over place, or is that a charity place you've got, or was you lucky enough in the ballot? How did you
And
get
I was
that?
lucky enough to be given a charity place from the Alzheimer Society. So
Okay,
I'll be
that's
running
nice.
for them.
Oh, that's an amazing charity. So that's it sounds a funny question, right? But that's this October. It's not April.
No, yeah, this October.
No, the person will know who I'm talking about because I had a coaching call with them the other day, and I thought they were doing October. I was about to do a plan, and then she said, "No, I'm doing one in April." So that kind of changed what we was doing. So you're doing October. Have you? So that's your first marathon. Are you just looking to go enjoy it and have some fun, or are you looking to do something extraordinary, or how are you sort of looking at that in terms of?
I think, I don't know, ideally I just want to finish.
Okay.
A couple of years ago I didn't run at all.
Mm.
I think I got dragged to my first park run and did it in sort of 40 minutes and absolutely hated every second. So for me, I think just the fact that I'll be able to complete it will be good. I've kind of got a rough time I think I want in my head, but I think someone, I
Well,
can't remember who's told me.
where are you with your half marathons at the moment in terms of time?
I've got it down quite a lot. My first one I did a couple of years ago, I did in just under 3 hours. And then I recently got a PB at Cambridge this year, which I just got 2.5 hours.
That's incredible. Well
So
done.
I've taken half an hour off. I think I'm never going to be
That's amazing.
sort of speedy, but we're
That's
getting there.
fast enough, mate. I tell you, don't be disappointed with that. That's moving. So yeah, so that's comfortable. What would we say? 5-hour marathon you got in your mind, something like that?
I think under 6, I'll be happy.
Yeah,
But I'm going to set, I can't remember who it was. Someone at Dublin said to have 3 targets.
Yeah, gold, silver, and bronze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's quite good advice.
Yeah, I think it is right. If you are training for your first marathon, to have sort of 3 targets in mind. But I say to everybody, if you're doing London as your first one, just go and enjoy it. That's the key. You've got, when you get to those different points around the course, Cutty Sark, which is just mental, Tower Bridge, all those sort of different points, Canary Wharf, just soak it up, take your time, walk through them, and just enjoy it, because it could be the only time you do it. Sabrina, you did your first London. What was that like?
Yeah, incredible. And I think we had this same conversation, didn't we? Which was, go out there, have something in your head, but the night before, just forget about it and enjoy it. And the most incredible thing was, Cutty Sark is amazing, but we had the FORDY volunteers at mile 12, and they gave us a big hug. And then we saw Petra, Claire and I were together just before Tower Bridge, and she gave us a hug and went, just enjoy this moment. And it was probably the best advice we got, because we stopped, we took a picture actually on Tower Bridge, because you just won't, it's different when you do it on the big half and other races. And that moment just in London, on London Marathon Day, where the place is going mad. But I'd definitely say enjoy it, soak it up, and just don't worry about it. Don't worry about the time. Don't worry about how long it takes. But soak up the atmosphere and enjoy every minute, because it is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, that's I can't say anything else than that. It's just such a moment, isn't it, Toby? Like where you said when we rocked it over Tower Bridge. I think that was because of the break as well, because obviously I've done London a few times and I've been lucky enough, but after that break where everything was closed down, pandemic, and then to go back over it, then that was insane, wasn't it, bro?
Well, yeah, it's a bit like Serena was saying with Claire, that we made a point to do it together over the bridge and sort of run it, because you spend, especially because we spent so long training together about it as well, and it's like, and talking it through and looking for the points, and obviously you'd done it before, so you knew the points and all that, and from your videos as well, you could remember which ones to go to and not. But yeah, that's great experience.
I tell you what, that is a good plug, Tobe. If you've not seen it and you're doing London Abbey, have you not seen the video? There's like a 2-minute video we put out on the channel, which is the course in like 2 minutes, but all the main important parts that you need to look for. So like mile 3, where all the sort of, I call it the big party converges, but all the different starts come together. And then it's like, get to Cutty Sark, get to Tower Bridge, get to Mud Chute, and all that sort of stuff. It's like literally a 2-minute video, but it's like hopefully giving everybody those things, those sort of mental markers to look through the course. And it's breaking it down like that. But yeah, 100% just enjoy it. So it's Mel, are you doing this from your bathroom? No, that's not a toilet, Mel. That's the dirty washing bin that I fill up. Mrs. Ford, you ask her, she goes, loopy, because I fill that up with all running gear. So you can imagine that I get told off every day when that gets filled up. but there it is, and it's splendid. It's not a toilet, even though it does actually kind of look like one. Yeah,
I
I'll
did
give her
think the same.
that. Yeah, we've got to give a shout out to Ray, because Ray's not been around. Our Californian ambassador for 40 runs. He's not been around. So, Ray, glad to hear you're back and you're well. Admin, have we got any early questions or early shout outs for anybody?
Yeah, can we quick shout out to Monica? It's a friend of the show and a friend who, bless her, osteo Monica, had an operation earlier this week, both of her knees. So she is at home and recovering. So wishing her lots of love
Big
and
shout out.
Yeah. Questions. One for you. Is the Velocity Nitro 2 more cushion than the Pegasus 39? That's from Rob Barnett.
Yes. 100%. Yes. It's, I mean, the React foam is softer on the 39 than it has been, and it does get better over time. But they've both got warm uppers. I'd go with the Puma all day long, mainly because it's cheaper. But yeah, 100%. It's definitely softer.
Right.
Any others?
Yeah, one more actually quickly. So Ray, the happy jogger, as you just said, from California. So he finished his first marathon and then he's been recovering. And he said, have you got any good tips for recovery after a month off following his marathon?
Recovery mileage after a month to recover. So what, just coming back into it, Ray? If you're looking to come into it, just try and find some patterns. Try and maybe book a shorter race. I know out in the States you get some local smaller events that you can book up. So maybe book up some I don't know, a 5 mile or a 5K or something like that. Give yourself a little target, but just try and find those patterns again. Try and give yourself little mini goals over a couple of weeks of just getting out once or twice and just trying to find your feet. But just make sure you come back really, really, really slow, really, really steady. It's no point crashing back into something that you're going to regret. Like I came back from my surgery. I took about 3 weeks, Tobe, to get back up to speed, I would say.
It felt longer than that, the amount you went on.
I know it felt longer, and they stopped me from talking about it and using it as an excuse. Tobe, actually, we did make a note of this on the run the other day. I said to Si, be fair, I've not even mentioned the surgery for 6 weeks. But on a serious point, Ray, just come back steady, but give yourself the sort of mini goal. So give yourself patterns in which to accomplish, because then you start forming some consistency, then you start building that foundation up again, and then you can go up from there in terms of mileage. Who else have we got to give a shout out to? Is there anybody? Someone was saying about Skechers. Everyone leave a like. Yes, Randon Lewis. Everybody leave a like. Thank you very much. Good shout out. Anything else?
Question from JBS.
Oh yeah.
Every week. So he said he's been playing around with a pair of Ultras lately. He's been mixing them up with the speeds and the Hockers. What does the panel think of drop trainers?
Abby, I tell you what, I'm going to ask you a question about running shoes, so we don't get. So then we're going to move on from running shoes. What running shoes do you running?
Oh, so I thought this might be controversial because it's Brooks.
Oh,
I have a feeling you don't like them.
And, all right, okay, look. With Brooks.
Right. So, how did you get into? What happened? I know how this is going to go, but just tell the listeners now what happened. How you got a pair of Brooks Go?
One of my colleagues took me into Runner's Need and got me on the treadmill.
Oh, isn't that fun? That's a coincidence. It's a bit of a theme that goes on. Yeah, and then they stuck you in a pair of Brooks. And what, have you been in them for 20 years?
Oh, yeah, about 3 years now.
Yeah, there we go. Right, so job done. I think I rest my case, Your Honour, on that one. Which ones are they out of interest?
Ghosts. To be fair, I do love them, but I do have a pair of...
That's an interesting point, because you've got there one of the highest drop shoes. So with the Ghost, I think it's about 13 mil. Might be wrong, but it's about one of the highest drops on a daily trainer. So that's the heel to toe. People don't know what I'm talking about. And then what JBS is talking about is on an Ultra. A lot of their shoes, I think most of them are 0. So a 0 drop. Some of them are 1 or 2, but basically it's a 0 drop shoe. So you're running with a shoe that's like basically no heel to toe drop. Yes, dead flat. So it's more that natural gait that it sort of promotes. They also have a thing inside them that promote this like natural foot position as well. In terms of 0 drop, I think they're good if they work for you, like anything, JBS, if it works for you. But I found with 0 drop shoes that it really did take some getting used to, and it was a bit strong for me. I was running in a pair of not Asics. I think they were Evo rides that were like 4 or 5. And I started transitioning. Then I got a pair of Ultras, and it was just that little bit too much for me. So see how you are in them. Like anything, just try it, and if it works for you, great. But if you are thinking about going to a 0 drop, a more natural way of running, so to speak, in terms of your shoe, then definitely transition into it, because it can cause issues that, like calves flaring up and stuff like that, because you are pulling on them. We've got to give a shout out before we come on to Dublin. Shout out to the South End FORDYs who are running the Roach Valley Way Relay on Sunday morning. They're doing that as a team. So good luck to you lot. Big shout out. I think they're all wearing pink, as I understand it, which is good news, because it makes you run faster. It's scientifically proven. What's it, GCSM? Yeah, so good luck to you guys. And let us know what else you're running this weekend, by the way. Just because we've got the Vitality 10K. I know there's loads of other stuff going on around the country. Are you park running tomorrow, by the way, Abby?
Probably not. I think I'm going to go out and do 10K sort of down the river.
She's hardcore. She's hardcore. She's don't muck about this park run business. Right. So talking of park run, see how I did that segue? Be fair,
Nice.
Wilco, if you're listening to this while you're sort of hung over in the Algarve looking for your ball that you lost on the first tee, I just done a massive segue in there. Right. So talk to us, Abby, about Dublin. Oh, well, let me go back a step. If you didn't know, last weekend, Hayden, Alan, Carolyn organised this big takeover in Dublin. They all jumped on a plane at some stupid hour in the morning, flew over to Dublin, smashed the life out of it. Then they all went and got Guinness by the sound of things, got hammered, and had a really good time, and then flew back. That is that roughly what happened, Abby? You're going to now fill in the sort of blanks in that story.
Yeah, pretty much.
So when it was announced that this was going, did you like have to think about it, or was you just like sign me up?
I did think about it for a while, and then I saw everyone else signing up, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get a bit of FOMO if I don't go. But I didn't normally make it up early enough to get to park run sort of 10 minutes down the road. So
so what time did you have to get up last weekend for that?
3 o'clock the alarm went off.
Oh, it's a bit strong, isn't it? Did you go to bed? Because I know Al didn't bother.
We did. Well, a few of us from the Surrey group ended up staying in a hotel in Luton, so we went out for dinner before. But I think it was probably about midnight by the time we actually sort of thought about going to sleep.
So you was already at the airport, so you didn't have to do the journey.
No, thankfully we were there.
Yeah, to get there. Yeah, that's nasty. And then how long was the flight? Because the flight was probably just as long as the park run, wasn't it?
I think it was about 45 minutes, because when we landed, they were like, we've landed 20 minutes ahead of schedule.
Oh, that's a result. So what airline was that? Big shout out, 'cause they might want to sponsor this. This is the biggest podcast in the world.
Oh, I think we're all on Ryanair.
Big shout out, Ryanair. If you want to sponsor us, send in an email to what was it?
longrunshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, send that in saying we want to sponsor you. And thank you very much. So you ran from the airport, is that right?
I didn't. Some of them did.
Well, hang on. What do you mean I didn't?
Well, we did it. See, some of us also did a 9-kilometer running tour later on in the afternoon that were getting the later flight. So I sort of thought I'll just get the bus to park run.
You bust it. How far was it? Come on, Abby, own up now.
I think they did. It was nearly 5K.
And you bust that?
But we had no sleep. I was still waking up.
But for admin, would you have bust it or would you have run it?
Run it. I wouldn't have a choice, though, would I?
Yeah, sure. We would have bullied you. So, what would you have done?
I'd have found the long route and run it.
Oh yeah, he'd have found a hill, Abby. Is that sort of...
Put me to shame.
Yeah.
Don't mention hills though. Apparently, it's a bit of a taboo about Dublin.
Oh yeah, because apparently the course is quite hilly or something that nobody realised. Is that right?
Yeah, there was kind of one hill that was a bit of a killer, and you have to do it twice as well. So on the first time, there was kind of a bit of sort of, I don't know, it was almost quite fun, and then you realise you have to do it again, and it was not okay.
So the first, and then so you all did it. You all celebrated. I bet the organisers loved it when you guys turned up, didn't they? Because you pre-warned them as well, right?
Yeah, we got there quite early as well, so quite a few of them volunteered as well, which was really good. So we helped set up.
Brilliant.
And they were really lovely and so welcoming as well. So,
but it's a 9:30 start in Ireland, right?
It is, yeah.
Yeah, which is again a little bit more sort of civil, I would suppose, isn't it? Than
Yeah.
the 9 o'clock. Mind you, what about you guys? I mean, Toby, I don't mind the 9 o'clock in a way because you've got to get up and get there and get it done. Not in being horrible, but 9:30. I don't know. What about you? What do you think? 9:30 or 9?
I'd rather go earlier.
You'd go
9.
9 o'clock, yeah, or
Yeah.
probably earlier. What about you?
I would go 9:30 if you had the choice.
Yeah, I don't know why I bothered asking to be. I knew the answer. Let me know in the comments or email in at parkrun@gmail.com. Don't email that. I made it up. And let us know 9 or 9:30. Should Parkrun make a stand? Mel House is going to go nuts that we're trying to change Parkrun. Remember, Mel, we're very powerful now. Being the biggest podcast in the world, we could have like 0.10% influence on this decision. But we're campaigning for...
FORDY took a token back with him, souvenir from Dublin Park.
Did anyone nick any tokens from there or lick anything like they do at Bushy? Have you?
I don't think so. I don't think we did.
Oh, that's a bit sneaky.
We wouldn't have done that.
You would have. Hayden had a pocket of them. I bet him. I bet he walked out of there. You
No,
know what I mean? That was...
one.
Huh?
Mel's taken one and she's mixed it up with the bushy.
Yeah, Mel definitely took one. 100%. They do definitely. And then so you went on a. Don't look, you then went on a tour of a running tour. So what's that all about then?
So we did it with Go Running Tours in Dublin.
If you want to sponsor us, let us know.
Another one.
Yeah, good job. Yeah.
It was a 9-kilometer sort of quite slow pace around Dublin city centre, which was nice because quite a few of us got the later flight home, so we sort of left everyone that was on the early flight in the Wetherspoons, of course. Where else do we go after a race?
Hadn't some of you had a drink before this 9-kilometer run though?
I thought about it, but I didn't. I was sensible for once.
But some of the others
actually,
did.
I think we might have been okay. We all had one at the airport before, but before the running tour, no. I think we all crashed a bit at that point. I think it was just get some food in you and then thought of having to head out again on no sleep.
No, it gets to that point, doesn't it, where you get overtired?
Yeah.
Did
delirious.
Whittington do the running tour after her 2 pictures of cocktails?
No, we left in her and Wetherspoons.
with the 2 jugs of cocktails.
The trio traces.
So, Admin, do you want to tell? Should we tell the viewers and listeners the story what Trace told us at running the other night? She might kill us. Actually, are we seeing her tomorrow?
Yeah, she's there tomorrow.
She won't be listening anyway. Go on, tell them.
So she said that she went to the bar and ordered a drink. Obviously, she thought she'd order 2 cocktails. She thought, oh, that's a bit pricey, but I'm in the centre of Dublin. Whatever, just go with it. And then came out 2 jugs. So then she pretended that she'd been really kind and ordered for the rest of the table when actually she had just messed up her order. So anyone that had a drink on Tracy did well.
2 jugs of cocktails. I reckon she drank most of them. I'll be straight up. I reckon she definitely had a good stab at drinking all of that. But it doesn't matter because she's not listening. So say what we want, isn't it? So yeah, it doesn't matter. So the next thing, Abby, are you going on the next one, which I believe is going to be in Wales? Is it Wales?
It is, yeah. I think it's the Severn Bridge. Is the plan.
Severn Bridge. So what's the story there then? So what have we got to do with that one?
I think you start, I can't remember which way around it is. I think you start technically in Wales and you finish in England. You kind of run over the border, I think, if that's right. If I've got that wrong, someone feel free to comment.
And is that a 9 or a 9:30, that one?
9, I think. But don't hold me to that.
No, I won't, don't worry. Nor will all the thousands and millions of listeners that listen to this on the podcast. So are you going to drive there? Or I guess you stay over, I suppose, when you're out?
I think the plan is to do a day trip again, but I think it might be, there's talk of a coach, I think, and there's talk of
no, that's going to be. I tell you what, that coach is going to get wild.
It's going to be like coach trip.
Party bus. God help us. No, that will be messy on the way back. Well, you're probably quite fun though. It's like the party. It's like the train, isn't it? When the South Enders go into London, it's like the party train on there. Right, Abby, have you ever listened to this show before? When we do have a co-host on, have you ever listened to this show before?
I have. I listened to a few.
So you know that there is a lightning round.
I do.
Now the good news is for you, Quizmaster Al is not here. He's larging it in Magaluf or Mallorca or whatever he's doing. So admin has stepped up tonight and she's going to fire some very quick fire questions at you. Don't be panicked. You know, was it Al says you know the answers or something? What does he say?
Yeah,
Something
you know
like
all
that.
the answers.
You know all the answers. So she's going to fire them all at you after we play what has been voted the best intro graphics in all running podcasts. Are you ready for it? Toe, roll the intro. Go.
All right, Abby, you ready?
I am.
All right, let's go. So, first one, pre-race breakfast.
Bagel.
Just on its own or with anything?
It's normally dry. It's whatever I can eat and don't feel sick in the morning with the nerves.
All right, cool. We know your trainer brand, Brooks. What's your favourite clothing brand?
Oh, probably Lululemon.
Cool. Choice of fuel on a long run.
Jelly babies.
Great choice. Favourite race distance?
Half marathon, I think.
What trail or road?
Road. Absolutely road.
What's the one race you really want to do?
London. So
Amazing.
doing it.
I told you knew all the answers. Toby, on the titles.
If I had some like round of applause audio, like in the background, I'd play it. Good effort, you two, taking over the show. Toad, we've definitely got next week off. That was better than Wilco. That was better than Al and Wilco combined, wasn't it?
That's pretty quick, I thought.
Yeah,
Is
you've
that
done
right?
well. Al likes to sort of play with the guests a little bit. You just smashed it straight in there. So no, I think they've done well. So Al, you don't rush back next week. We'll basically leave it to these two, and we'll just do whatever. We go for a long run. Right, I tell you what. Before we get into how to help in terms of running a faster 10K and a little bit about the Vitality 10K, is there any questions that we need to get into? Any shout outs? Is that the quickest fire round ever? Yeah, I think it was, and I think it was a lightning fast. See what I did there? Yeah, have we got any? What have we got? Anything? I saw a couple.
There was a question about, so there's Arjun, I think his name is, he's running Milton Keynes Marathon. He ran a 1:24 at Cambridge Half, so speedy, wants to go sub 3. He's saying his plan is to stick with the pacers the whole way. Is this a good idea?
Well, firstly, have you ever run with a pacer in a race before? Because it's not. I think it's something you've got to get used to. Because if it's what race did he say he was doing it in?
Milton
Keynes. I don't know how busy that is, but they're usually quite busy, the Milton Keynes Marathon. So the pacer's going to have a crowd around them. It's actually, I think sometimes when you get into those sort of speeds that you're running at, sub 3, you tend to find packs of runners who are running at the same sort of pace. And there's a big benefit from running as effectively as a team, as a unit. So because you get yourselves all through that. I know some of the faster runners, they do tend to work together well. Me personally, I can't, and it's nothing against pacers, but I can't stand being anywhere near pacers. I don't like the crowds that they draw. I don't like the hustle and the bustle that they bring. But I do know that being with the pacers can be a massive help, and they do an incredible job. It's personal preference, but if you're going for a PB, I would have preferred you to have practiced whatever you're going to do. If that makes any sense. So if you were going to go for a PB, then I would have hoped that you've done a race and run with a pacer and understood what that brings with it. So you're not thinking about, oh, I'm running with a pacer and the crowds and the people that all entails. And even like, it sounds funny, but even the chatting that goes on amongst the groups, because even that can be off-putting for some people. Like we joke, but I chat the Tobe the whole way, right? That can genuinely be, he's nodding for people listening on the podcast, that can genuinely be annoying for people, right? If you're a runner that doesn't like chatting and noise and all that sort of stuff, if you're in a pacing group, they tend to chat, and they do tend to, in a good way, but that might not be something that you're used to, and that could put you out your stride, could put you out your sync, and you might find it distracting. So I would go with whatever you've done before. You've obviously, you don't hang about. So I would tend to go with whatever you've done before personally. Or maybe stick with a pace and then lose them towards the end. I don't know. It's a funny thing. I honestly, I stay away from. I give them a wide berth. For me, it's not something. I either try and keep them behind me or let them stay ahead of me. It's one or the other for me. I can't really stand being around. I don't even like being near those groups of people, you know, like threes or fours, you know, that are working as a pack. Even though I run, you know, people know that hopefully by now that I usually run with Tobe or I run with Si or I'm running with somebody. So it's a bit pot kettle. I appreciate that. But I don't know. It's just something not for me. What about you guys? Admin, ever run with a pacer?
No, and I won't because of that
No?
reason. I like to get into my own stride and go at my own pace. And I think if you're with a pacer, there's a lot of pressure on them, and for you to stick. And I just think I'd rather find my own space, find my own pace, and then run my own race. I feel like I don't want to get caught up in that crowd and then something go on. And actually, where was it? Landmarks. I was coming round the corner past the pacer and their flag came off and it caused carnage. And there was a whole load of people like trying to figure it out. And I was just like, this is why. Stay well away from them.
Yeah, but they do. I say I'm not gonna. They do a fantastic job, and they've got people to some amazing times. Yeah, and they do. Look at what Petra does. You know, just as an example, because Petra does it. You know, it's an amazing thing. If it's for you, Abby, have you ever run a race with a pacer?
Yeah, I was just going to say, actually, I hadn't before, but Cambridge, they got me to my PB, and it's the first race I've ever ran, and I could actually talk whilst running as well, which I found really weird that I managed to talk the whole way around. And it was 10 minutes I knocked off my PB as well.
There you go, right? So
just trying to stick with them.
So that shows you that it works. So, again, like we always say on you know, this show and in general, it's all personal preference. But the only thing I would say to you, you know, answer the question, I can't remember. Jeff or whoever it was. Thank you. Was if you're going for a PB, personally, I would have liked to have practiced it first. That's the only thing that I would say around that. Yeah, that's probably it. There was another question about some, and we're not again. I know it's shoes, but we do collect a lot of shoe questions. There was a shoe about some racing shoes I saw. Somebody. Oh yeah, here we go. What racing shoe? Abby. You just reminded me, coming back to the story about Alan in a minute. What racing shoe would you suggest for someone who's not had a plated shoe before? I would go for the Saucony Pro 2. Tobe, would you? Because you're in them. Would you concur?
Yeah, I love them. They're brilliant.
Admin, because you're in them.
Yeah, I'm in the first version, I think, but I love them.
Yeah, they're the same. But most, Abby, if you've not tried the Saucony Dolphin Pros, try them because Admin has got most of the women at Broxbourne. She must be on commission with Saucony because they're literally every week a new lady turns up with the same pair of shoes on. So and they just keep buying them and buying them and buying. She must be on com. You must work for like Runner's Knees or something. Is that right?
Like Brooks.
Yeah, what was that, Admin? Sorry.
I was going to say, in the winter, it's those running lights that I make everyone buy from Amazon.
Yeah, she must be on com. She's got to be. So there you go, Abby. Top tip from Admin. Get your Saucony Pro. She'll sort you out a link, and I'm guessing it's an affiliated link.
I'll give them a go.
So what was the story? So yeah, that was the story. Tell us, because it was at Cambridge, wasn't it? That Al had his. Was it Cambridge? No, Brighton.
No, it was. Oh God, Hampton Court.
Hampton Court. That was it, right? So if you haven't listened to the show, I think it was probably episode 40 or something like that. Basically, Al had a friendly get together with some pavement on one of his runs, which ended up in a right old mess. So Abby, tell the listeners and viewers what actually happened.
Oh, he's going to kill me.
No, just tell him. What can you do about it?
No. Well, it was actually twice as well, just to really drop him in it.
Now he will kill you.
The first tumble was quite subtle. We managed to carry on. The second one, I just dropped back, and it was quite spectacular. I'll give him that. He had a bit of a misunderstanding with a curb, I think.
Did he try and style it out like Tobe did when he tried to impress that lady over the barriers, and he tried to he literally broke his knee in two pieces, got hammered by a tramp, and then tried to style it out. So the young lady thought he was okay. Did Al try and style it out, or did he be like me and just start crying?
I think he got up quite gracefully and just carried on. I think at that point he just wanted to get it done.
Yeah, what a legend. He styled it out. Like you, Tobe. How is your knee?
I started out. It's fine. And actually, it has a different leg to now the one I got a problem with. So at least I know it's not that.
Are you planning on doing any adventures like that this weekend? He's
I
in
am. Yeah, I
London.
was going to go and have a chat with Barrier. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in London twice this weekend. If you are listening to this podcast and you're going, just watch out. Don't be any barriers if you see Toby coming towards you, because a chance I'll try and leap over them to impress
I'll
someone.
just go and find side. He just open it for you gracefully.
Yeah. So I'll just open it for you like he did, like a gentleman that he is. And by the way, if you didn't listen to if you listened to last week's show when I dropped him right in it about those running shoes that he bought and didn't tell Claire, he told her because I warned him that it was coming. So he fessed up, but he didn't get in any trouble, so that was okay. Gary, because I want to come on to 10Ks because we're running out of time as always. I'm going for a first. What is it? I mean,
3:15 at Belfast. I find in a group you can't see the ground, and there are cups and bottles you can't see, and the's a race ender right there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a good point. That again, it's that congestion that you were talking about. You can get that congestion of there's a lot going on in a big pack, and that's the thing, isn't it? If you're not used to it, and you are in that sort of pack, you can run into trouble, or like you did, Abby, you find it works absolutely brilliantly for you. So it can go anyway. And I think again, Wilco listening in the Algarve, probably looking for his ball on that famous hole on the what's it, not the hole called Val de Lobo, the Royal course, where there's that cliff you have to hit your ball over the cliff. He's probably looking for his ball on the beach. But I'm just about to segue into pace and running a fast 10K. See what I did there, guys? Be fair. It's almost I'm good at it.
It's like you've been doing this for a year.
Yeah. What? No, usually be fair, I mean, I usually turn up. I get a lot of abuse from Toby about not doing anything, and then I basically muck about for an hour. That's usually what happens, and upset somebody. But the Vitality 10Ks this weekend. So we wanted to talk about making the most or running a faster 10K, because some people might be going there this weekend with an idea of beating their PB. So we wanted to hopefully give some tips and some ideas to think about. The thing is with the Vitality, it is a busy course, right? So these ideas may help you further down the line and maybe a slightly less busy one than the Vitality. I don't know what the numbers will be, but I'm guessing it'll be well over 12,000, probably could be 15,000 runners. That's usually the sort of numbers they get. But actually, firstly, Abby, have you ever run the Vitality 10? I know you're volley this time. Have you ever run it?
No, I signed up to do it the 1 year and then it was COVID, so I did it virtually.
How annoying. Admin, have you ever done it before?
No, not done.
Never done it?
No.
First time? Toe?
No, I got out quite lightly actually, because when I was meant to do it pre-COVID, it was the day after Edinburgh Marathon.
Oh.
So I was meant to be getting a train down to then run it. So I'm quite pleased that it's all changed dates.
So you've got so none of you have run it. So
No.
I was kind of hoping that one of you would at least be able to remind me what the course is like, because I can't remember it for toffee. So if someone
Probably
could
a bit
let us...
twisty with
Yeah,
a few hills that you don't quite expect.
What hills?
Well,
Where?
London,
There
it's
can't be
not
any
flat.
hills.
London's not flat.
London.
There won't be any hills. Let us know in the comments. Is there
Right.
any hills in the Vitality route?
All right, slight inclines.
No, I'm not having that.
There is.
There's no.
Look at the winter 10K.
Where's
You
there a
turn
hill
around,
in
there's
the
a little
10K?
hill.
Where is there? Where?
In the city. They're normally in the city.
What's he talking about? Are you on the City of London? Have you ever been to London?
It's not as flat as you
Not
think.
Tower Hill.
Yeah, can we go and do that up and down? Can we just do circles with that?
That's what he's thinking of. No, Toe, I don't think you get there. Yeah, I think Mel's onto it.
There are, though. There's that sneaky little uphill.
I think, right, I don't know where he's, honestly, I don't know where he's going. But I think that it is along the same lines what Mel was saying. It's similar to the ASICs. So in his defence, there is that, I think if we go that way, there's that slight incline as you go around Trafalgar Square and you go up and then you come back down. I think that's what he's referring to. That's not in the city, so I don't know what that's going on about. And then basically you head out to the city of London, i.e. the financial district, and you come back. That's just pretty much usually the standard 10K in London. But let me know in the comments, because I've done it, I think, 3 times, and I can't remember the course. So I'd appreciate if someone could let me know in the comments and prove Toby wrong that there's no hills on the Vitality 10K. There's no hills, Toby. I'm sorry.
Someone said there was a Poxy Hill in the landmarks, which there was at Tower Hill.
Yeah.
But I don't think we go out that far, do
You won't get out. You won't get out there.
There'll still be some incline though.
It won't.
It won't be flat.
It won't. I'm going to remind you of this on Sunday
Right,
for 42 minutes.
Yeah.
So
I'll be there about 41.
if you're running a 10K and you want to run a fast 10K, hold tight, because I think firstly, the most important thing is to get yourself some free air. We were just talking about that with the paces. Again, good segue, Wilco. But it's to get yourself some free air with a 10K. Give yourself some room so you can stride out and get into your pace, because you want to get into your pace early doors with a 10K. It's effectively a very fast tempo run. In not to, you really want to get out of the gates quick, get into it, do a really good warm up. Is a really good suggestion.
Mhm.
So you do see all these guys, and girls running around warming up. Honestly, if you're going after it, it doesn't matter if you're going for 40 minutes or an hour and 40 minutes, whatever you're going for in a 10K, give yourself a really good, decent warm up. I'm talking really, really high intensity to build it right up quite quickly with a really good warm up. So, a few strides and all that kind of stuff, and just engage everything, get everything switched on, mentally as well as physically. So you are on that line and you're like attack mode from the start. Get yourself some free air. So have a look around you. I shouldn't advise this, but I'm going to, because what are they going to do about it? Maybe move forward one wave. So you get yourself a bit of air. So let's say the people in that wave are maybe 1 or 2 minutes quicker than you, and you come to the back of that. So they go away, and then you're left with that space between you and the next wave. Don't do that at every race, but maybe if it's a PB you're going for, then be a bit selfish and do that. Get your elbows out at the start. I said it on the park run. Give yourself some room in a nice way. Don't start elbowing people in the face and say, "Oh, FORDY said on the podcast to do it." Please don't do that. But if you do that, send an email into complaints@longrunshow@gmail.com or whatever it's called, and Wilco pick that up. But yeah, get your elbows out. And my point is, get yourself some space. And then once you get out of the gate, you want to get on your pace, and you want to know before you race, but you want to get on your strategy. So if your strategy is to negative split it, which is what I would do, I'd actually probably look to do a progressive run over the whole distance personally. But you want to know your strategy before you go out, and you want to be ticking your boxes as you go through. So whether you're doing it on per mile or per kilometer, personally, I would do it per kilometer in a 10K. I think it works better. And you're literally going through and ticking off those kilometer markers. But knowing what your pace is through each of those, where you should be at halfway, can make a really big difference. Yeah. Another bit of really bad advice, right? So please, I'm not recommending this, but when I'm running a faster 10K, I won't take any fluids. Like during the 10K, I'll be hydrated before I start, and I'll hydrate afterwards. Now, I'm not recommending that for you, especially if it's a hot day. You do need to take some on, right? But me personally, if I'm going for a time in a 10K, I won't take any fluids on, but I'm not recommending you, just to be absolutely clear. Anybody legally, right? I can't say that again. Yeah, right. Disclaimer. I didn't say, but that's what I do. It's because you will not waste time, but you'll slow down to go in and get them. And that can make a difference between maybe doing 45 minutes and 44.75 or whatever it is. I don't know what you're going for. So think about stuff like that. I mentioned picking up the distance. There is a point which I do, is I actually settle back at, there's a kilometer, usually about 8K or 7K actually, when I do actually pull it back a fraction just to see where I'm at. Because chances are for the first 5K, I've gone bananas. And then I'm starting to tire at 6. At 7, I kind of regroup because you've got 3K to go. You've got, what's that, Toe? Just under 2 miles?
Yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
Just under
so
2,
you're I just kind of regroup a bit. So I do back out a touch because I feel like it saves me time in the last section, because I basically catch my breath, realize I'm still alive, check myself over and see if I can carry on with the pace that I've been holding. It is a good tip to try and mentally catch yourself. Not physically, yeah, if you can back out a smidge, but just give yourself a reference point, a marker, whether it's 6, 7, 8K, whatever it is, that you have a mental check over. Where am I at? How am I doing this pace? if you're running a heart rate zone, you're probably up in 4s and 5s anyway. But where are you at? Just check it over, how you're feeling. Literally 30 seconds, because it can make a difference again. It's that sort of, okay, actually, I'm all right here. I can push on. Yeah. So that's another tip, just to give yourself that check over. And the last one I would say is to really, and it's obvious, but really push on at the finish. When I say finish, I'm not talking the finish straight. I'm talking with about 1 kilometer to go, because you can still save time. And you've literally only got 1 kilometer to go. So dig in. And if you're sort of anywhere close to that PB, you may not get the chance again, is what you want to think. You will, right? But think to yourself, you may not get the chance again, and go. So your brain will tell you to stop. Mentally, you're done. Physically, you're done. But believe it or not, you do have a little bit more in there. We say it in training. Yeah. Be fair. When we're applying ourselves at these higher levels, these higher efforts, there is another level. There is that higher operating ceiling in which we can go into. But it's just that mental side that's holding us back. You've got that buildup of lactic acid, and everything's is horrible. You probably are dehydrated. You probably are hungry. You probably are knackered. But honestly, K to go, kick on, and believe in yourself, and just go. You don't want to finish and feel like you could have done more. You literally want to finish and like be bent over and feel like you're going to throw up, and don't throw up. And get me, I don't want you to be in that state, but you want to cross that line and feel like you've given everything, is what I'm trying to say. And believe in yourself, but don't do it too late, because a lot of us, we wait until, I'm going to go half a K. I'm going to, go at a K, with a K to go. You've had your check over at 6 or 7. Think to yourself, I've got to get to 8 or 9, and then I'm going to push on again. And that's the key with the 10K. It's to really, really kick on at that end, because that can save you over the whole time. That could, again, knock you between a 50-minute and being a 49:37. Do you see what I mean? So it's slicing it down like that in terms of the 10K. I hope that helps. You two, as qualified coach, anything to add?
I think the just emphasize the warm-up thing. I think that is definitely really important with a 10K, as you're saying, because you are literally going out all at it from the beginning. And even, you will lose time as well if you don't warm up properly. Your muscles still warming up in those first couple of kilometers. So it's definitely that. And as I say, pushing on at the end it's just, especially if you know you're on for that PB, is knowing all the hard work you've already put in before you arrived that day and also on that day. If you think about that in your head, that you've already pushed this far, and then you will find that extra in there.
Yeah, I think the other point you made, Chris, about knowing your strategy is really important, because like you said, you'll negative split. I know that doesn't work for me, for example. So I'm better off going out, trying to go consistent. And you're right, last kilometre, give it everything, but knowing my pace and knowing where I need to be. So I think it's important to know what your plan is on the day. You're going consistent, you're going negative splits, you're going progressive. What do you want to do? Because that will keep you on track as well, and you know where you are.
Yeah. Yeah, and Tobe, can I just mention you've been hammered in the comments, and rightly so. Thank you very much, David.
I've seen those ones.
Slight incline, Carter Lane to Holborn around the back of the Bank of England, but they aren't worth reporting on. So, Toby, you don't know what you're talking about. Next one. Elevation gain for Vitality 10K. Toby, you're going to have to send a written apology out, put a press release out. For Vitality, it's 12 metres, and at the steepest point, the gradient is 1.8%. Are you taking the mickey, Toby?
Have you moved further down, though? It says ignore that. That was the first mile.
No, I only read that bit.
Oh, well, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, that'll be on the screen there. Yeah.
False information.
There's no way there's elevation. I'm sorry, I'm not having it.
There's always elevation. It's just how much.
All right, I tell you what we do, listeners. Next week, I'm going to report back on this, and we will let you know. Let us know, actually, if you're following us on Instagram. Let us know if there's elevation as well on the day. Just tag me at FORDY_. We've also got a long run show Instagram account, which we don't use because that would mean we're like a slick media marketing podcast, and we've got absolutely no idea what we're doing. But follow that if you want to. But we never post anything on it because we don't really know how to use it. But tag me FORDY_runs if you find any elevation in London this weekend. on the Vitality ticket. Actually, a
Well,
big shout out. What?
I think it'd be interesting to see all the different elevations people get.
No, that's just geeky. That's just
Yeah,
weird.
but if you
No,
look,
that's
you know,
just-
some people go for like nothing up to probably 100 foot.
You've
No,
got
that's
too much time on your hands.
yeah.
I wish.
Yeah, no, you're spending too
All
much
I'm
time.
thinking about, to be honest, is what I'm going to get from Leon at the end.
Yeah, we're going Leon. Is it? Let us know, please. longrunShow@something.com. What's good from Leon, because that's where we're heading after, because they do very good vegan food.
The
So
vegan mac and cheese bites, we're on them.
Yeah,
They're good.
that's what we got. Oh, I can't have that because
They're vegan. No, it's vegan. They are
gluten
vegan
free.
ones.
Are they gluten free?
On Mondays, yes.
Okay, Mondays they're gluten free. That could be my 10% day. There's something else I was going to mention, but I can't remember what it is. Toby, you took me right off track there. Oh, Westminster Mile. Is anybody doing the Westminster Mile? I'm there on Sunday. My girls are going to try and beat everyone. So, challenge to everybody: bring it on. We're going to be taking it down. We're going for what do you think? 6-minute miles, or is that a bit unfair to push the girls? Bear in mind they're only young. No, I think what?
Put them on a scooter.
Yeah, could put my scooter. No, we're
They've
going
got
to go.
Heelys.
Huh?
They've got Heelys, those trainers with wheels
Yeah,
on
we could check. I wonder if anyone would check. No, it's a bit out of order.
Do you
But
reckon
we
have
are
a
there.
race
So
with what
if you are there, if you're listening to this on Saturday on your run, and you're coming along Sunday, make sure if you see us, you come and say hello. We'll all be dressed in pink, natch, on Sunday. I'm looking forward to that because the weather's looking pretty good as well on this weekend. So fingers crossed they actually get it right. So what time have you got to be there, Abby, for volley duty?
We've got a sign in at 8 o'clock.
Oh, well, that ain't too bad.
Yeah, it's quite nice.
It's quite a late start, isn't it, this one? I thought it would be. We don't race until, is it 10 o'clock time? What time do we go? I don't know what I'm
on
asking.
Monday.
Yeah.
I've literally I don't know what wave I'm in.
No, I'll be straight up. In fairness to Tobe, I don't even. Like I said,
The
I don't
waves
even
start
know.
at 10 o'clock. They go
What?
from the waves start at 10 o'clock and the last one's 11:15. So
I think I'm 10:15.
no,
How are you 10:15? I'm the first wave. No, because that's Sir Mo, isn't it? I'm after him.
I put a request in saying that there's a guy called FORDY there, and I just don't want to be in the same wave as him.
Hayden's running with Sir Mo, he told me. He's taking down Sir Mo. If Hayden's listening, you know what I'm talking about. So Hayden's going for a PB. And he's going down with Sir Mo. So 10:15 is what time we're going.
no, you're earlier than that. I think I'm 10:18 or 10:20.
Toby, honestly, you ain't got a clue what you're doing. So Abby, you're there at 8. What time are you? So you've got to wait from 8 until what time is the first? If they're at 10, let's say the elites are 10:30, they'll be done by it. Like Ben, he does it in half hour, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So 10. So you got a bit of a wait, haven't you?
I think we'll be there for a while.
Well,
Wait.
why do you have to get this early? Do you have to like sort all the t-shirts out or something?
I'm not sure. When we did landmarks, we sort of check in, set up. Time goes quite quickly, actually. There's a lot to do.
Do you get breakfast and stuff?
I think we get a lunch bag. I think we had one at landmarks.
Cheeky.
Was
Is
it?
Is it vegan?
Oh, I don't know if they had them or not.
Are you getting a medal for this one? Because at landmarks, you guys got medals, didn't you?
Yeah, we got volunteer medals for landmarks, which was good. I think, and we did at the winter run as well, I think.
Rightly so.
So again, shout out anybody doing Vitality 10K. Our volunteers are on t-shirt duty this weekend. Give them some love. And if you're, hopefully everybody who's listening to this is part of the Facebook group. If you're not, you need to get in. It's mandatory now. It's actually just been made law in Mongolia and Malta. Kid you not, look it up on Wikipedia. So you need to join the Facebook group. And then if you want to do some volunteering, the amazing people that run that for us, people like Mel, Paula, Kate, and that, just look up for their posts and get involved because they post up about these events that we can volunteer at. It's a great way of getting involved in the race. Maybe it's a ballot that you didn't get into, or it's maybe unfortunately you're on the injury bench or something like that, or you just want to give something back and hang out with a bunch of really nice people who are also part of the 40 Runs community and club, then get involved in volunteering as well. Can't recommend. Is that enough? And there's also apparently a shenanigans afterwards. Hayden's going to be tearing up London. Apparently, is this rumor, Abby, or is this fact?
No, it is true. I think we're heading back to again Weatherspoons because where else do we all fit after a race?
So, you know what? We should get Weatherspoons. If you're listening, they probably are. Just drop us an email at sponsorship@gmail.com, and we will reply to that probably next year. But you're very welcome to sponsor the show. So we're all heading to Weatherspoons after, are we?
I think so. Yeah.
Apparently Mo's going as well. Yeah.
Apparently.
Who's going? Mo's going there.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
And Tracy, Tracy's going to go and try and see how expensive London.
Imagine getting 2 of those cocktails in London. She'll get carried out. Guys, I don't know how, right? But we've ended up doing 60 minutes of really talking not much really sense. I think Abby and Sabrina, you've done an incredible job of carrying this show tonight. And I really, Tobe, you did nothing. Don't look like, if you're on the podcast, Tobe just gave a look like, what have I been doing? You've done nothing.
Toby, we're going to tidy that room up.
See? It's not just me. Abby, no, I tell you what, look, complete like outsider of this. Yeah. Abby, be fair, out of 10, right? What would you rate Toby? Remember, it's a production suite. How would you rate? It is. Out of 10, what would you give it?
Oh, well, I feel like you put me under pressure here.
You can go minus.
Just be honest.
We'll go for a 7. I feel like.
What? No, I'm not having that.
I'm sorted.
I'm not having that. There's no.
At least I haven't got a toilet in the corner.
Admin, what would you give him out of 10? No way.
3 at most.
Yeah, I'm not having
4
Abby.
It was too polite the first time.
Yeah,
Abby,
it was a 2, but he got rid of some of those boxes. So I'll give him.
That wasn't on purpose. I think I just needed them.
So at least I've got a commode in mine.
Well, it's when I sent you the picture the other day of the wallpaper taken out, and you were like, "That better be the studio."
Yeah, he was doing some wallpapering, and I was hoping that he was decorating the production room, but he's not. Right, anyway, so we're going to leave it there because Wilco will get upset because we've gone over the hour. You know, he likes to shut us down. I know he's hammered somewhere rolling around the Algarve. And apologies to anybody in the Algarve who's had to put up with Wilco on the golf course for the last few weeks. You may have had a ball through your window, through your glass, in your car, or whatever he's done. We apologise now. Al as well. You know, he's out and about. He's probably in Magaluf or what is it? Where's that? What's the bit in Mallorca? What's the where do they all go and get hammered and stuff?
Benidorm.
Benidorm. Or is it Benidorm? Wherever it is. He's probably there, large in it. So again, apologies for that. We do apologise, but it is what it is. And yeah, so thank you very much, Abby. Abby and admin, I think we're going to get you back on and 100% host the show and give us a weekend off. Ladies only special. And it won't be very special because I think actually we could make it a regular occurrence time and we could get more weeks off.
Christmas Day, New Year's Day.
Yeah, it's another one of my brilliant ideas. So if you want to come on and co-host with these two young ladies as well, send an email into something.com and let us know. And I think we'll probably wrap it up. We've got to give a shout out to Skechers. Big love to Skechers. Make sure you check out, again, running shoes, lifestyle stuff, the clothing. See, I'm not just saying it because we're not paid by Skechers or anything like that. You know, there's no, just check it out. It's really good stuff. Skechers.co.uk. Big love to them for supporting us and what we're trying to do here on the biggest running podcast in, Tobe, guess where this week?
The world?
No. Oh. Mars. We've gone into Galactic. Prove it.
Is that what the Mars rover listens to?
What? We're on the rover, yeah. On that rover. They're beaming it out to the rover. Right, so that's it. Let's leave it there. Thanks again, guys. Have a great weekend, everybody. I hope to see some of you at the Vitality 10K. Hope to see some of you at the Westminster Mile. I really can't wait to see all the volunteers when we come through the finish line, as always. That's it from us. Toe, take us out with those incredible outro titles that have got intro written on them.
No. What? When?